Congratulations on this highly anticipated second season. Everybody has been waiting for it, and audiences just really love this show because it's kind of a breath of fresh air to have a period piece be so heavily focused on the relationships and the comedic aspect that is so wonderful about The Great. I wanted to ask, we see in the trailer that Catherine is pregnant. It is based on, historical accuracy that she takes over the throne after her first son is born. How did each of your characters' dynamics kind of change or evolve or help her through this phase of pregnancy and taking over the throne?
Um, I think it changes entirely. I think, with Catherine being in power and ascending to the throne, I think she brings in, or starts to bring in this wave of change that, like, certainly Arcadia isn't down with, and she starts, there's this almost like a stripping of certain privileges that he held before, and so very quickly his sort of arc really is concerned with how to get Peter back in power, and how to and with that comes brings about some really fun and exciting and just funny I guess plotting and scheming along with Grigor and Tatiana and in trying to, and Peter I suppose as well, in terms of how to bring her down.
Yeah, and what type of plotting and scheming can you tease us on what he's going to do, or his objective throughout season 2? Does it shift, or is he just like, we have to get Peter back in power? What are we going to do? Talk to us about that.
I suppose the biggest obstacle to getting him back in power is his growing affections for Catherine, because while he still has feelings for her, he's unwilling to kind of like shift her off the throne or take her on. So that's a big thing to kind of like combat, I suppose.
Yeah, knowing that there's a limit to how far you can push this, I suppose, goal to take her down, because ultimately, I guess there's a definitive way in which you can do that. But there is this this dichotomy of like these two characters, Peter and Catherine, being politically opposed, but also there's love there, and so we're aware of that. So there's a limit to how much we can do. So it means we have to get a bit more creative in the way in which we attempt to shake her off the throne. And I think that makes some really exciting storytelling this season for sure.
I mean, I think, Mariel's kind of, their friendship is based upon Mariel basically being the cynical voice on her shoulder, and I think that whereas everyone else is just so overjoyed at Catherine's pregnancy and the fact that she's carrying an heir to the throne, I think it's a breath of fresh air for Catherine that Mariel is like, oh God, is it awful? How does it feel? But your body, what are you going to do about the stretch marks? She needs that dose of realism from Mariel, and that's what she provides. And yeah, she's she has her best intentions, but as we see, I wish we knew from season 1, Mariel is her best friend, but Mariel's top priority is Mariel, and we see the repercussions of Mariel's betrayal from season 1, and that sort of gets swept under the carpet, but it lingers.
Yeah, would you say she is reinstated though as the best friend figure? She is there for her in that way, but is that trust going to be kind of redefined as we see?
Yeah, I think so. Like she is kind of reinstated, and because fundamentally they miss each other and they provide something for each other that they can't get anywhere else in the court. So, and Mariel regains her status as a lady as well, but it is it's the elephant in the room, this betrayal that Mariel does in the end of season 1. So yeah, it's not going to go anywhere.
And so I know that Tony is such a big influence, obviously, with this show, having worked on The Favorite, and now with this show. How did he bring a fresh perspective in season 2? How was it on set working on season 2? What did everyone try to bring to the table in order to keep audiences engaged? Because you guys have had such success with the show already out the gate.
A large and important part of it is the casting process, and Tony and Marion got together like a really brilliant group of people that are all quite like-minded in many ways, and so it's just created a really collaborative atmosphere on set. And we have 2 very chilled out, laid back leading actors in the shape of Elle and Nick, who just have no ego, and that filters down really, and it just means that it's a very kind of safe and creative space.
I think with with any new show, especially with a season 1, and especially a show like this, it's an epic story, and there's so many characters, and you've got to spend almost half a season setting that world up so people know where they are. What's great with season 2, we're all established now, so we can hit the ground running. And what's nice as well is we know each other. So the chemistry feels organic, it feels authentic. And we also know Tony's tone. It's very specific. It's neither comedy or drama, it's its own entity. And we know that. And then also Tony is really good at being extremely open as well, in terms of he's on the floor a lot, so he has an idea about what the rough shape of the arc is going to be, but he watches what we're doing and he plays to our strengths as well. So it feels like the show is constantly evolving, and as a result it just keeps getting better and better. And I think you were saying this, I think that it is about Catherine the Great, but really it's also about these just beautiful complex relationships, and you just want to keep watching it to know more and what's going to happen in this crazy ass court.
Yeah, and talk to me before I have to go about your character. What have you noticed shifts or evolves? What can you tease for us we can see more of Orlo?
Yeah, it's a life-changing moment for both Orlo and Catherine. For Catherine to be taking the throne, and it's such an amazing moment to see this woman in power. But at the same time, even in that first scene where it's the first day in court of them working together, it's great, but there's also just little cracks appearing because they've got differences of opinion. And I think that's something they didn't quite expect. I think they were both naive and thinking, oh, this is going to be great. We can just do what we need to do and get it done. And I think Orlo has to remind Catherine there's a certain protocol. Maybe say Orlo is, I could say, maybe slightly too safe, but at the same time, he knows the repercussions of making decisions too quickly, which we see Catherine does, and then you pay the price for it. And I think it really affects their relationship, and maybe not for the better initially, but I think they need to go through this to develop as people, and also for their relationship to develop as well.
And how are you hoping that your characters will evolve? You know, some people have said we've mapped out 6 seasons. You know, we know that she reigns on for 30 plus years. You know, so are you guys hoping that, you know, your characters' oppositions will change? You know, what are you hoping to see in the next coming seasons? Can you tell us if there's a season 3 already? I know we have to get through season 2, but everyone's just so excited.
Well, if we, we're lucky enough to get a 3rd season, it would be great. I would love to, as we've clearly stated today, there's like Team Catherine and Team Peter, and there's a lot of, we all get really excited when we have those moments where we're all together and we all get to film together. And I think a part of that is just wanting to, I guess, interact and have scenes with each other, but also, I guess, characters that we haven't so far. So I think if we did get a 3rd season, it would be, I would like to see Arcadia interact with some characters that we haven't seen so far, like, everyone really, because they're all awesome.
Yeah, and from Grigor's point of view, like season 2 ends with everything very much up in the air for him. So I think there's lots of things that need to be resolved.
A lot of loose ends to tie up. Everyone's anxiously awaiting to see what kind of unfolds. But I just want to thank you guys for your time. We're so excited to see it. And congratulations again on all of the success right out the gate.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Have a good one. Thank you.
Take care.
Cheers.